Now, just one little thing before we get back into playing Stasis. A little cultural note before we do anything else. About Halloween in at least Sweden. See, I mean, maybe we all know what the American idea of Halloween is, run around with candy and scary masks and stuff. But at least here in Scandinavia, I don't really know about other places. Well, I think actually our Halloween comes at a different date than the American one, but whenever we do our Halloween thing, we are supposed to just think about departed family members, or, you know, just cogitate on our memories of the dead and deceased friends and yeah, family members, you know, their grandparents and the like. And what brought this on, by the way, is that my great aunt died today. So I'm not really in the American Halloween mood right now. I mean, it didn't really come as a shock, so it's not like I'm fighting back, holding back tears or anything like that. It's just my great aunt was a great aunt indeed. I'm not gonna eulogize, just, you know. I will not take any lip about not being in a festive mood for this episode, okay? Now with that over and done with, we have ourselves a PDA to read. Doesn't look like it's very long, but I've been wrong before. And yeah, let me just scroll up a bit. Where the hell am I in the walkthrough again? Jesus. Okay, there we go. A new year for the chief surgeon and a new year for the staff of the medical deck. I have to think of it that way or it gets rather confusing. The staff of the medical deck now consists of 3 extra sections: cybernetics, tissue regeneration, and for some reason, medicinal hydroponics. Yes, it may be medicinal, but as I told Dr. Milan, they are still plants. I don't wish to seem ungrateful. It is Kane Corporation who opened so many new doorways for me and who redefined the frontiers of medicine for us all. As a man who served his apprenticeship on the battlefields, elbow deep in the blood of innocents, to see those deserts and war-torn villages reborn as images of Nirvana is a privilege, and all thanks to the sciences of Kane. And yet it's hard to understand why on the Boom Lake so many departments are being forced to share resources like this. I hear our budget will be up for review soon, and the chances of us getting an increase are slim. I shall try to remain positive. My goodness, a 300% budget increase. I have not yet been able to even imagine how helpful this financial windfall will be. Dr. Milan assured me that a sizable portion of this budget will be applied to Project Seed. It makes our work that much more essential. We'll order new equipment and new samples, although I don't totally agree with the ethics of Dr. Milan's acquisition of volunteers for surgery and testing. The leaps and bounds we've made in our research more than make up for the rest of it. Slip of the editing work there. Is it wrong that we must test the limits of morality for the greater good? That is always the question in research. I should know. I have a scientific university education. We actually discussed this quite a bit. Well, at least here in Gothenburg. Just saying. I'm a surgeon who has seen many awful things in the blood-soaked abattoirs of the Pangea Wars, so perhaps this should be second nature to me, but I don't recall agreeing to the use of children for testing. So yeah, the dark game. Just so you know. I went to inspect the stasis tubes at the request of my chief nurse and found that there were several children, some as young as 9 years old, awaiting processing. Children? I was shocked and appalled and demanded an explanation from Dr. Milan. Edward Jenner had to test vaccines on children to see if they'd work, he said. I knew the story. What medical does not? Jenner injected infected purulent exudates into the child's arm, which must have seemed callous disregard for the child's life. And yet it saved the boy. That is how he convinced me. We are at the frontier of the sciences. Chances must be taken. I do not always feel comfortable with his ethical choices, but his logic is sound. The research is too valuable for us to let a few moral qualms get in our way. Now, I can't actually be sure, but Edward Jenner, well, I mean, I suppose I could look it up before I say too much. But if this is the first vaccine, yeah, you should know that the word vaccine comes from the comes from the word in Roman languages for cow, vacca. I think for whatever reason, some guy thought it would be a good idea to expose people to cowpox, and that way they did then not get chickenpox or smallpox or one of those diseases, which is now considered exterminated in the Western world, Western industrialized world anyway. But of course, we can now look back at that and say, hey, this guy just saved a whole bunch of lives right there. We can do this with every other kind of virus thing. But of course they did not know that at that time. So I'm pretty sure they thought he had more than one screw loose. So, this is completely fair. This is a legit reasoning. Misguided in the context of this game, I suppose. But it's a valid reasoning. I fear that my decision to become a surgeon with Kane Corporation is not quite as simple as I thought. Jesus, writers. The first casualties of the infection spreading across the ship came to my lab, where we had to set up a quarantined operating room. I had to get hands-on with a patient for the first time in years. The flow of blood, the cutting of infected tissue using my specialized tools. God forgive me, but I enjoyed it. It's impossible to explain the adrenaline rush from playing God in such a way, of having the lives of so many on the verge of death in your hands. I felt it on the battlefields, and I feel it now. It is not the beauty of birth that moves me, it seems, but the pungent stench of death. I thought I joined Kane Corporation to save my soul. Instead, it is to slake the thirst of the beast in me, whose jaws slaver at the scent of blood. I am ashamed. Huh. So at least this guy's respectable. How could I not have seen it? Those awful life forms are disguising themselves as us, inside us. They wear our skins and our beady teeth, which explains how the security systems cannot detect them. If I didn't already know where those creatures came from, this would perhaps be less frightening. But they've learned the vile abominations. Abomination, what a word that is. It appears to summarize what we, have created in our hubris. We have created evil. God help us all. The end. Let's see. Yeah, we read this. Dr. Milan has recalibrated his guidelines for subjects in Project Seed, and specifically the requirements for any female subjects. Jesus. Yeah, they skimped out on editing expenses. That much is obvious. Well, any female subjects who have previously been pregnant. The female subjects should ideally have been screened, but their precise source is not important. Since the project has a 99.89% chance of a non-fatal reaction in subjects, members of staff will be eligible for this test. The ideal subject is as follows. Blood type O negative, height between 5'5" and 6'0". Free of any genetic defects, age between 18 and 40, subjects must have recently been pregnant, ideally within the past year. Not creepy in the slightest, of course. We have disagreed often, but never so more than now. I'm aware that Miss Callister doesn't work in surgery and that Chief Nurse Boxer has seniority in terms of rank. However, Callister has one of the most extraordinary organizational minds I've ever worked with. The product storage areas are clean and well indexed. Therefore, I have to challenge your demand that I remove her from her position because of these false reports she has been sending you about anomalies in the supplies. I have no doubt that your claims of her illicitly taking samples is also only an accusation. She is a fine worker and reports only what she feels is right. I'll be taking no action against her. You are in charge of the project, but you must allow me to choose my staff at my own discretion. A respectable guy. And presumed to be pretty darn dead. Let's see, where are we? We've done that. Okay, we don't care about all of this just yet, so maybe the really nasty bit is, well, coming at a later date. Let's see, why? Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. Couldn't see the timer, so I just discovered I had actually zoomed into the walkthrough, which, yeah. Screw it, let's move on. Well, isn't this a lovely scenery? Medical Bay Terminal, not a whole lot else to click on, so let's do just that. Medical Bay, personal data type detected, John Marichek. No security clearance, system is locked. Well, that's unfortunate. How do you like this then? Huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how you do it. Can I have the PDT back, please? Oops. Should I have done that? Huh, yeah, I should have done that. Well, back up here then. And out here. And here we go. Progress. Has happened to someone. Huh, oh yeah, this. Now, the adventure gamer in you should write this down. I don't need to because my walkthrough includes this information in some kind of a table.
Tia, a survivor.
Oh.
Someone alive.
this?
It'd be dangerous to wake someone from stasis without the proper procedures being followed.
So who the hell won't be?
Get him, John. You need to think about the mission.
Yeah. Speaking of the mission, we'll be back in this room shortly, so let's just take a look at this first. Lovely. Human torso, intestines, and legs. Oh hey, I found the chip.
Another body. Or two.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm going to try to kill myself some way now. I kind of forgot to do that previously. Probably not a good idea. Fair enough. Can you do this then?
I think that'll just break it. Maybe.
No.
No.
Seeing as the pistol's empty.
Maybe.
Okay, all good.
No, that won't work.
And once more into the PDA. Be still, my beating heart. Also the most divine creature in hydroponics. She's friends with that nurse, Erica. Erica gives me the evil eye, but Sadie's just a divine thing. Curves in all the right places and the face of an angel. I keep trying to come up with reasons to visit the medical hydroponics section. She never sees me though. I'm not trained medical staff. Those soldiers in the recovery rooms give me funny looks if I'm at the window trying to get her attention. I have to find a way to speak to Sadie directly. I've seen her head to the decontamination room and she seems to go there after every shift. I might try and strike up a conversation by one of the machines, maybe offer to buy her a drink. I'll do it tomorrow, or maybe the day after, because tomorrow I've got a double shift. Still, it takes a brave man to work on unknown sciences in the bosom of the cosmos, doesn't it? Like the jocks back at school who would ever be able to do what I freaking do. I risk life and limb to repair essential electronics, and that takes courage. I may not be a soldier, but I think I have the right to call myself a man of courage. I think you have the right to call yourself a man of the creeps. Burke Carter. What's with the shutdown? Jesus, 9 days now. I've been trying to get through to the surgical pods for a week. I gave up going to hydroponics to see Sadie after they started restricting access to unnecessary personnel. So now I just hang around product storage by the vending machines hoping to see her. But when I do, I just choke up. Damn, I'm so pathetic. I'm reading this book by Arian Sanchez. It's about the eugenics wars. It's freaking amazing that we're even allowed to do what we do on the Groom Lake, with what happened all those years ago. I have to hide the book though. Dr. Milan saw me reading it in the rec room and he went totally apeshit. Threatened to burn the book and fire my ass. So now it stays under my pillow. And I sure as hell don't take it on my rounds. Instead, I bring one of the Pangean series by W.C. Dark with me. Is that his real name? I doubt it. I love Major Plothole. He's incredible. Sometimes wish I'd had the balls to be in the Marines rather than engineering. I'd love to be like him. Rations arrived today. Nobody's impressed. It's all emergency shit, so hardly gourmet, but man, I wasn't expecting much, but this is seriously bad. Because who's short people are going bug fuck. Loaded punched Malone. Broke the poor bastard's nose. Steve's having trouble keeping everyone's fists off each other. I keep asking why we can't just raid hydroponics, but they keep shouting me down. Especially Sadie. She looks so pissed when she sees me, but nowhere near as pissed as when she looks at Dr. Milan and Dr. Alrai Kupa. She must despise me. Why didn't I just ask her out before? Because you're a coward, Burke. A dirty, stinking coward. The power went out again. I'm so freaking scared I can barely breathe. Those rumors of animals prowling around medical? Not rumors. I saw one guy ripped apart by one of those things. Couldn't make it out too well. Pale skin tails, I think. They move around like a pack of dogs, and they're strong. People are scared and hungry. I kept a small stash of food in my quarters. I didn't even tell Steve about it. I feel ashamed for keeping it to myself, but people are getting crazy, man. I think it might actually be against regulation to hoard food. The other would kill me if he knew I had rations hidden. Come on, the guy's nuts. He practically strangled me. Yeah, my scrolling wheel is a bit glitchy. Practically strangled me the other day. Carswell had to restrain him. But it's still freaking kills from the operation earlier. Steve was nominated to reprogram the security turrets, and the guy just went and did it. He's a hero, not like me. Now I'm just a coward. I'm a friggin' No, I'm not just a coward, I'm a friggin' murderer. I used those poor bastards in stasis to keep those god-awful things from getting to me. I just unlocked the stasis units and began the recovery process so that when they staggered out of the deep freeze, those things were waiting for them. That sounds a lot like the early stages of Alien Resurrection. Ew. I found a product storage room that nobody was using and locked myself in. When the breach was reported, I heard the screams. I pissed myself. I fucking pissed myself. Is that any way for a real man to behave? As I ran, I saw Sadie cradling her best friend's bloodied body in the corridor. The worst friggin' part isn't that it never occurred to me to stop. Yeah, I just hoped they'd buy me the time I needed to find a hiding place. That's who Burkhardt was. Whoever finds this, and I know somebody will. He was a coward. I just hope that the computer parts in this PDA come in handy to whoever finds this. If my hide was this useless in life, the least I can hope is that something I left behind will be useful. Unhappy times, bro. Okay. Back at this, though. Let's see. I think we need to look at all these things. Yeah. You need to know this, this, and this for everything that we look at. You have a funny Pathfinder AI in this game. Okay. How about we stick a chip in there? Yeah, so here's the part I really absolutely have no freaking way to figure out on my own. So I am very lucky that, well, that there are walkthroughs. Just hold on a minute. Okay. I thought something happened on my mobile phone and, you know, funerals to arrange and all that, but nothing important this time. So let's see. Okay, there are the clues. Let's see. Right, here we go. Hold on a minute. And I will zoom in on this. There we go, so that I can see what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, no. Come on, come on. LibreOffice, don't do this to me. Okay, there we go. Let's do this thing. That's 4 thingies, and we click this and make it so and so. Only one thing there, and should be this molecule. Another one thingamajigger, and can't really tell, but it's the correct number of squares below, so that's all good. 3 of these, I think, and it is this one, and 2 of this one, and 4 of that. Let's go.
Yourself. You okay? God damn it.
I heard screaming.
Woke him up. The survivor. He didn't make it. I think I killed him. I think I did something.
Told you to leave him. He was dead the minute they froze him. Just make his death easier, simpler.
I just killed a man, Tia.
You need to move before you become another dead body.
Some mercy.
Mercy. You have no idea how much mercy I had. I've been in hell. Made choices that got people killed. This isn't just like you anymore. I'm sorry. I need you, John.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that exchange. Let's just leave it at that. However, see this? We actually need this. And now what? Okay, we just leave. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna save this part for next episode. And you are, yeah, well, you know, if you are easily grossed out and are having trouble with the game up to this point, just skip the next episode. Trust me on that. And I'm done for now. See you in the next episode or the episode after that, depending on your viewing preferences and your stomach for the gore and the gross. Until then.